Okay, I ought to go live stream on that. I could go hours and hours. See, this is what I've learned is very helpful. Listen, I don't want to hurt anybody physically, mentally, emotionally, just pretty much mentally. I'm sick of a lot of things that I see, and if I get going on my rock and roll ministry, and I will, I don't want to pay attention to what other people are doing as far as to other people who are doing the same thing, okay? Because you should be plenty busy in our own lives that we don't need to mind what's going on in the lives of other people. If you look at my promo CD that I gave to Brett, I had a Billy Ray Cyrus hairdo to Mr. Def Leppard. And maybe I should take both of you there because I realized that destroyed my true image because I wanted to be like you. Oh, not like you, but I wanted to be light. I wanted to be liked. And therefore, everybody who was on my walls, Agnes Young, AC/DC, I try to be gentle. Because they're the only ones who showed us the way by always being true to who they are, at least in the public sight. We don't know what they do behind closed doors, but we might say that would be another form of entertainment, maybe in a VIP area. Do you ever want a VIP seating, area with AC/DC? So here's the thing. And guess what? Whenever you support people like that, like AC/DC even, know this, that they have what is declared, if you look over the years, most of their image has been maintained pretty much consistent, which leads it that you could get these other entertainers for all these various changes that they went through, which sends confused feelings. Was Michael Jackson really Michael Jackson through his whole career? Do you think Michael Jackson is dead? What about Prince? I think the Prince was a kind of a hoax, but I could be wrong. You know, the person formerly known as Prince, he was the sign of what? That we're gonna have purple rain someday? Hey NASA, can you make it rain purple someday? Is it possible to put dye into the atmosphere, purple, when it's raining? And it turns it into, I bet you know all kinds of cool stuff that we can do, NASA, right? Because there's a good chance that the people who run this country and run the planet are aliens anyway. If we would see them, we probably would what? It might just be a big brain inside of a tank. Okay, what's this? We're gonna wrap this up with the fact that I shared on my videos prior, 2009 up to now, I shared about how when I came out here, I was continuously being bombarded by people in the music industry and on the street. Stephen is connected to Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson is connected to Toby Keith. Toby Keith is connected to Jim Femino, who does not like to be called Femino. I guess he has a complex about it. So it's Femino. You figure it out. Femino, is it? Supposedly he's a Nashville songwriter. He had a Philadelphia address, but he didn't live in Philly. He lives outside of Philly, or he did. So that's what I'm talking about. Just that alone, I think there's many lawsuits there ready to happen, is when people are saying that they live somewhere in a city, right? It's misleading to the general public. You know, the government, on the Copyright Office and Trademark, they don't have a problem showing people your exact address. Why is that, government? Why do you out people like that? See, it wasn't like that before I did the recent copyrights and stuff like that. What I'm saying is, our government has changed a lot of things within the government facilities, and when you do something that should be, especially nowadays with email address, can be kept private, they out people. What gives them the right to do that? Where are the general public people who are willing to say, enough, government? You have been making my life miserable with your laws and the way you go about life. And by the way, why is a bunch of people in their later years, 70s, 80s, 60s, leading our youth? Do they have wisdom? Do they have intelligence? Let me ask you something. Why don't Donald Trump's family go live with this? Why don't they be homeless for a week in Las Vegas and Hollywood? Nobody help them. Just let them be. And then officers be available to shift them around, put them in jail if they get caught there again. You can't sleep here. Can't do that. I mean, they just show us. They show us. Donald Trump, would you and the family, you wouldn't want to do that. Why not? I'd do it on national television so I could show people what it's like. See, that's what I want. I want to show people what the realness of it is. When I was out in Hollywood, somebody that Steven had sent to me via satellite mentioned to me with all these people that were on the beach, homeless. Some of them were literally infested with lice. And he looked at me and he said, they did it all to themselves, Tracilyn. If I could go back there, if I could go back in that time, I would backhand him with my fist. Nobody does that to themselves. That's a country filled with poor-ass leadership and lack of compassion in the fruits of Jesus Christ. See, I would love to be the patrol person if the Trump family went and pretended to be homeless for a week. Because I'll tell you what, by the end of the first day, they'd already be locked up in prison, just like they would to anybody else. Okay, we can't really hold you here, so we'll let you out. Make sure, we bring in police officers to laugh at them, because that's what happened to me when I was in York. We're bringing a bunch of police officers, let's laugh at the Trump family, ha 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 ha. Because that's necessary, right? This is necessary in the police force, that we have other police officers laughing at people who are getting fingerprinted for a crime they didn't commit. Trump, I'm innocent, and I want my money back, and I want an apology letter from York County. The mayor, write me an apology letter. Get on it. Invite me there. Say you want to be a contribution to my ministry. You want to start things off right by apologizing for something that should have never happened. Then give me my money back with interest. My time is worth something. Not to mention all the expenses I had to do to drive back and forth 45 minutes out of the way. How about throwing in a brand new car? Why don't the government pay for it? Did you ever see the write-offs for government? The things they buy? I just saw something over here at a park in Dayton, Ohio. Actually, it was Troy, Ohio. Look it up. Fitness equipment. And I'm telling you how that fitness equipment got there. You can't even use it. Why is it just sitting there? Look, I was thinking to myself, this is great. I love Ohio parks. This would be great. Now, you went to use it, you can't use it. I'll tell you what somebody did. Somebody invented that, and they struck a deal with what? Was it a grant that they got? What was it? Some kind of invention? They get X amount of money, they create something, they put it in the park. They wrote up a plan. Now, why do all these people get up to write out a plan for these inventions that don't work? So that they have money. Hey, Donald Trump, what if I wrote out a plan? A real good plan, a detailed plan. And I'm telling you, when the FCC promotes my music online, where I have packed houses, or on the radio, when I get equal airtime as some of these rock stars from the past did, because that's all it is, it's a precondition. You want to go on tour? Let's put some music on the radio and on the MTV. Well, we're sorry, Dire Straits doesn't like to say that anymore. Why? Because he realized something. And I'm proud of him. Get your money for nothing and your chicks for free. Remember when that girl is pulling up the thigh high? It impacted me. I wanted to have a pair of thigh highs on too to pull them up. What if I were to sue them for showing me something that I wanted to do and I didn't have access to? What if I were to sue the entire entertainment industry because I want to do something with my life and I haven't been educated through our school system how to do it? Yes. Where's a lawyer out there that hears my words? Maybe I should just do it myself. Who to sue? How about everybody? How about I have the entire government and entertainment industry in court and I sue them all because I want to do something with my life and they didn't teach me properly. I didn't even know I identified as what I identify with. It was kept hidden from me my whole life. I laugh now, and I used to kiss a John Bon Jovi poster that was on my door in my bedroom at 147 London Village. When you walk in the front room That's the living room. And then you have the dining room. You walk straight back, not the room to the left, not the one to the far left is a bathroom. That's how you know we're talking about the same place. You walk straight back into the bedroom, and on the other side of that bedroom door, that's the room that I used to have all my rock and roll pictures. And there was a big poster of John Bon Jovi on my door, and I used to sit on the floor and talk to it. Do you think he was listening? Maybe. Doubtfully. And can I tell you, I can't believe once I became intelligent that I wanted to be anything like him. After all these years, there's a lot that I could say. I'll let it go. But know this, the reason I came out here today and the reason that I'm doing my video project is because I'm convinced that we keep our thoughts meditating. It's like a volcano, and one day it's just gonna come out. And I don't believe that any man or woman or anybody should be penalized for it. But there needs to be a means to be able to do that. The first thing to go is, what are you angry about? Are you suffering from what they call major personality disorder, bipolar? I'm bipolar. Major depressant. Okay, do you know why that is? Because most of what we've been taught our whole life is nothing but lies, and there's lawsuits all over the place for that. Our whole schooling system, education, needs to be upsnuffed. And by the way, the Bible never misled anybody. They might have been misunderstanding, and you might have fell into agreement with Joel Osteen or Joyce Myers, and it screwed up your life and you almost died, or maybe you did die. Transitioned. Because we're transitional existences. Can I prove that? Look around nature, it's all over our faces. Lay out a piece of meat. Just throw it on the ground, watch it. How long does it take before all this other life form starts coming around it? Does it come from within it? You want to be a maggot? Hey, John Bon Jovi. Do you think we're going to be maggots when, in later years, when we transition on? Nice car for your stage, by the way. Looked a lot like mine in 2011 that I bought at Walmart, my ragtop Cadillac. That was a big deal to me. And by the way, it's all I had in my life at the time. If I call you an asshole for using even my littlest tiny idea, would you want to sue me? You see, a lot of people are afraid to talk to people that they heard really bad shit about. They heard bad stuff about. I am not afraid to talk to your face. And by the way, I'm thinking of having a PFA drawn up against you because I'm scared for my life. Bon Jovi, Bret Michaels, I think I'm going to have a PFA drawn up against you two and more. And I'm going to request that you stay out of the entire state. What do you think of that? I don't want Bon Jovi coming to Dayton, Ohio. Who's the governor here? I don't pay attention to politics. I never wanted to get involved in politics, but I don't want Bon Jovi coming here because it upsets me. I don't like John Bon Jovi anymore. I'm 45. When I was 15, I used to talk to his poster. I don't want him approaching my face in Cincinnati during a hard time in my life. Go back to New Jersey, if that's where you're from. Probably have homes everywhere, don't you? Hey, John, what makes you more special? What makes you more special that you have homes all over the place, do you? What do you serve at your diner, at your restaurant? Are those animals that are served on plates, are they brutally slaughtered? How many chemicals are in all the food that you serve and the drinks? Does that bother you? Because we can prove this. I can prove what I'm saying. Hey, John, I don't want you coming to Ohio. You want to rub it in my face? And I'll keep telling people that for the rest of my life. Any state I play in, I don't want you anywhere near around. You love New Jersey so much, why don't you do something for the New Jersey folks on a regular basis? Educate them on the importance of eating healthy, taking care of themselves. Hey, John, why don't you equip people in New Jersey that you know darn well most likely have even more talent than the bands before? Well, there might be one reason. Because you know that's true. Competition. I don't do what I do for competition. I do it for life, though. And I'm sick of rock and rollers getting a paycheck while there's all these starving people laying all over America. And some of them have more to offer today than an old man from years ago. Well, you know how the entertainment industry is. They want to keep it in their family. That's just like Billy. William, is it? Hi, William. William and his daughter Miley. You know, Taylor Swift, they were Disney characters for a while, is that it? And guess what? Every time they speak, you think what they're saying is true. I mean, surely there would be no other reason for them to stand in front of the television and talk to the youths, right? We're going to investigate more about Miley Cyrus because right out on the time that I stepped out on the street in 2012, I found out, whether it's true or not, I don't know, supposedly she was doing something for the transsexual community back then. Hey Miley, why didn't you stop by Dayton, Ohio? Say hello to Tracilyn. Were you scared of me because I look better in a model shoot than you do? Were you scared of me because I actually write songs that count and that are extremely marketable, like Ragtop Cadillac? You see, because in the privacy of my home, I said, that's my achy breaky heart. See, William really only had one great song, which was Achy Breaky Heart, and it really didn't do all that great. And we heard the story about Travis Tritt not caring for it that much. In fact, I seen him at concert, and what did he say? It's that achy breaky heart that I didn't care about. Hey Travis, do you care about Ragtop Cadillac? Or is that cheesy too? When I was talking in the privacy of my home, was it Travis Tritt who sang which song by Chris Christopherson? Was it Why Me Lord? You know, I used to listen to that with my mother, Travis Tritt, in Lafayette Street. And years before, Why Me Lord was my favorite Chris Christopherson song ever. Not Bobby, I wasn't like other people. Bobby McGee is what I came to love since Las Vegas. In fact, I get sick of people always recording the same songs the same way. I can sing that song differently, bigger, badder, more, entertaining today than it ever was in its history. Wait, I'm going to do it. Unless somebody else wants to jump in front of line, Miley Cyrus, do you want to do it? Do you want to do Bobby McGee your way? Or does your daddy get to help you with that one? Guess what, Miley? I do everything myself. I have to do everything by myself for myself because I'm a Joyce Myers student. I'm going to take a picture of my panties and put them on my Facebook account, and I'm going to show you what happens when you listen to Joyce Myers' ministry and Joel Osteen. The tug and war, you know. See, I take my own pictures. Nobody else taught me how to dress, or nobody helps me with my hair. Nobody writes my songs, nobody records my songs. I do. I play all the instrumentation, do all the backup vocals. You and William have a team. You want to say something like maybe it's because you didn't learn to get along with other people? That's what Joyce Myers might say, right? Joyce, you want to tell me that? You want to call me on the phone and tell me that? How about your teaching screwed my head up? And so did the school system. And so did the entertainment industry. But I know my true self now. When it comes to one-on-one, and you look at me as a total package, I have more to offer than anybody ever in the music industry. Yet, why am I dirt-ass poor? Why do you think that is, William? You live in Kentucky? You have friends in Ohio? You should go horseback riding sometime, cowboy. I'm sure you're busy. Lots of work. I saw you play over here. Is it Kings Island? In my opinion, your performance sucked. The music was good. All the musicians were good, tight. You're boring to watch live. I saw you twice. I want my money back. For every album I bought, for every t-shirt I wore and bought. Remember the dog on the back? Look what the dog drug in or something like that. What was it? I am not your dog. I ain't your dog no more. I'm not your dog no more. That was one of my favorite songs. I want my money back because I feel, in my opinion, you saved all your energy for Achy Breaky Heart when you played over in Fryestown, was it? We'll have to look that up. It wasn't Fryestown, was it? In Pennsylvania, just off of Interstate 78, is it? And I went, and there was a lot of an older, more mature group there. It was the lawn chairs. And I remember, wow, what a disappointment. So you save your performance is what I realized to the end of the show when you did Achy Breaky Heart. And then later years, it's just entailed into me that what? With William, you don't always get what you pay for. Or do you get what you pay for? I want my money back. And I should require a settlement check because I cut my hair like yours. Brett Michaels has the photograph. I was inspired by William, who can't even use his real name in show business if that's what it is. Is it William? Willie? Willie Cyrus? Hey, Willie Cyrus, get back here now. Come on, Willie Cyrus. William? And all this started because what? Tracilyn wanted to play out every night of my life. I wanted to tour. I called promoters. I was going to get involved with a military contract, go overseas. I wanted to entertain the military personnel. I was thinking about doing cruise ships. I was thinking about doing that. All this stuff was years ago when I was actively playing out. And because people are stingy, they're selfish, all they care about is themselves. Not you per se, the people I'm talking about here. People in the music industry. They're selfish. They want everything. Well, that's all right if you take everything that you're worthy of. But when you take from the lives of other people, now there's a problem. Now, who are you saying is doing that, Tracilyn? Well, guess what? It's all over my life story. Privacy invasion. Satellite. I've been being used as a resource and I don't appreciate it. And if I do any research and find out, I know I'm going to need lawyers. Because I don't want to sue all of them. For everything. Making my life miserable for one. Do you know how many times I cried? Listening to Bluegrass State of Mind. You see, I realized, William, that when investors and people, for whatever agenda, they have money in somebody like Miley Cyrus, per se, they'll look for other independent artists, especially those in struggling, those who are unique and stand out from the rest of society. If they're a songwriter, they only have to be mediocre, right? The look, the blonde hair, right? See, when I first started stepping out in 2012, they were trying to get me to color my hair back to its natural color, which is brunette, but I love blonde. Something inside me says we're transitional existences. I may be transitioning into a blonde head. Okay? I don't believe in death, William. Transitioning. We're transitional existences, which means we're on an eternal journey. Which means if you're on this pathway, William, be very careful of who you might bump along the way. They may transition into something that flies up ahead, then transitions again and lands right before you and says, now let's try that one more time. I used to like your music because I thought you were a spiritual person. Now, imagine doing something similar that was done to Elvis and Arthur. Do you know about That's All Right, Mama? Well, rumor has it, and I have video of Arthur talking, he didn't understand how other people were doing things in show business. And he had songs, but they didn't get on the radio. Hey, William, I have songs. In my first 2 albums, I have more hits than you and your daughter did your whole careers to this date that you can claim you actually wrote. Just because they're not on the radio doesn't mean they're not a hit. Because in show business, we just put them up top, right? There, now it's number 1. There we go. Look, the bird flying. There it goes, flying up ahead. There's 2 of them. Hey, William, look at that. Oh, she's gorgeous. That's a sign from God. Do you know that? He wanted me to show you that, William. Here comes another one. Look. 2's magical for me, William. Do you know that? Hey, Miley Cyrus, do you see that? You don't have time to watch this video, do you? Why don't you share it on a national television set about how crazy people become? Look at that. Hey, that's a sign from God. They love me. Maybe that's Miley Cyrus and William in the future. Look at this one. He wants to come down and get me. Are you dinner, Tracilyn? I'm not dinner. You gorgeous babies. Yes, you are. You are very gorgeous. They love me. They came from the sunlight. What do you think of that? See, I've learned that when you speak, things start to happen. Words are God. And a lot of times, sadly but true, people in music specifically, when they write songs, they start to figure things out. And they also start to realize when they're just staying still for a little bit of time how the music industry works. See, they want to tell you what to do. Hey, William, do you know what they wanted me to do? They wanted me to kill myself. Hey, William, they wanted me to kill myself, and they wanted to take my name. That's why my legal documentations were missing. My driver's license, my birth certificate. They wanted my songs. Do you think that maybe Bret Michaels wanted any of my songs, or Toby Keith, who's connected to Willie Nelson, who was connected to Steven? Hey, Toby, you wouldn't do that, right? Willie Nelson, you wouldn't do that, right? Because when I was down in Cincinnati, this Mr. Shiny Shoes, as I call it that, and if you heard it since 2012, know it came from me. Mr. Shiny Shoes sent me an email that told me what? That one of the songs was a Poco something that Willie Nelson sang. They showed me the picture of the guy who wrote that song, a video, and they said that's going to be me. Little did Mr. Shiny Shoes know the kind of experience I had in life. I'm the greatest thing to ever come out of Dayton, Ohio, maybe the entire state and country. With the right team of people, I'm the most marketable personality ever in show business. And I'm real. I don't need my daddy and his friends to help me cut an album while I go have my nails done. Hey, Miley, you know what? When you help one transsexual who actually has talent, you can help the entire planet. What do you think of that? Especially when somebody has something to offer. It's already known. What do you think about my story? Why don't you watch it? You ain't got time to watch. Who has time to watch it? Geez, you're in movies probably. You're at Disney and, oh, you're doing all kinds of wonderful things with William. How many homes do you guys have? Got any beach homes? I love the beach. How many RVs do you got? Tour buses? How much studio equipment do you have just lying around? Just like David Grohl from Nirvana. These people have warehouses, storage units filled. You're selfish. Do you know that according to the Holy Bible, everything belongs to God? And people who store their stuff like that when there's other people in need, in my opinion, are extremely selfish. Hey, Miley, you know anybody down in Kentucky? Because I often said that Tracilyn from Cincinnati would be extremely promotional. Tracilyn from Kentucky. Tracilyn from Kentucky. Hi, everyone. I'm Tracilyn from Kentucky. Tracilyn. I got the nicest version of Tracilyn. It was given to me by God, Miley Cyrus, and William. God. Did you want to have children someday and maybe name her Tracilyn? Or you're creative and you have your own names for her? See, because that's what people in show business did. Now, what is it? What is Lisa Presley's? Is it her children? Now, are they out in show business too? Let me ask you, America, wake up! It was noted in the genes that we come from the genes that Elvis wanted to do other movie parts, but guess what? They wouldn't let him. He had to stick with musicals. Some of his pain and suffering came from that, going against his heart's desires, Priscilla. Wanting what? Letting everybody else dictate what he does. Now you do this. If he's still alive, he could sue the entire enterprise for himself. He wants his life back. So now all of a sudden, I'm noticing that what? They've been using Lisa over the years to continue to keep the king's image alive. That's great. I love Elvis. I love Elvis very much. I wish I would have got to see. I wish I would have been a genetic girl in the 60s with the 68 special, and I would have been his greatest groupie. Elvis, can I please, let me just throw myself at you. I heard a rumor that he liked transsexuals. I don't know if that's true. Years ago. That's what I honestly heard. Now here's the thing. Check this out. So now, is it Lisa's children now? Where'd all this talent come from? Well, hello, we're empowering these people by letting them have money. And if they took songs like Arthur's song, supposedly he got some of a paycheck for it, he should get all the credit for it. Do you know that Elvis would have never had a career without that song? Not like he did. One song changed everything. There should be a monument for Arthur. If it's something that I would do, I would do it myself. Hey, government, how do I get one of those grants or something so I can make a monument for Arthur? I want to do it in the form of a rock and roll ministry. See, I'm going to do Arthur's song as I already have, unless somebody took it from me. Did you take it from me, Priscilla? I hope not, because if you took it from me, I'm going to take it back. Okay? How about we do this? Tracilyn is not the kind of person that's just going to let people take from her. I will take it back. What belongs to me belongs to me. I should have been an actor myself. You know, and do these Hollywood entertainers, do they go to acting schools? Because some of us are just born with an imagination, creativity. You know, they got to go to acting school, maybe what? What's up with all these schools? You need schools for everything. No, you don't. Everybody knows that the natural beauty of it all, the only reason you have to go to school is to be trained for something that maybe you don't even qualify for. Because if you really want it bad enough, you're going to do it. You're going to do it your way. And you're saying, get out of my way, I'm going to do it myself. And so you will. I use this cheap camera from Sony because people are selfish. William, Miley, Taylor Swift. Hey, Lady Gaga. Who else is in show business? I don't know all these names. David Grohl, you have that whole huge storehouse. Surely there's a camera in there Tracilyn could have used to make a few videos. I needed therapy, David. David, my psychiatrist said I need therapists, or I need therapy. Music is therapy for me, but that's not your problem, is it? So we have a drummer that becomes now rock and roller. How do you think that came about? Was David going against his heart years ago? Is he really a drummer, or does he just love music? He doesn't care what he does. Don't ever approach me to my face ever again, Bon Jovi. John Bon Jovi, Chris Christopherson, I'm gonna do your song. I'm gonna do Bon Jovi's song too, my version. I always get upset when I hear re-releases of songs that artists did years ago, and that's the best they could do. See, when you're a creative genius, you have room to talk. And I can back up anything I say. That's why I say it very proudly. I don't ever want to see these people face to face ever again. They're evil in my opinion. If they're truly Satanists, they're idiots. Because anybody who's a Satanist goes against their own heart's desires. God did not create humans to be Satanists. God created them to be loving, caring, compassionate, Christ-like. Every human being. So any human being that says, I'm a Satan worshiper, well, look out. Because that's completely, what? Opposite of the fruits of Christ. We got to change this chip, and we're ready to wrap things up. Very quickly, actually. It's felt good.